Hello. In this video, we'll take the use of AI a step further and try to understand how we can use it for analyzing data. So now that we are used to both Notebook LM and also Google Studio AI, we'll see how well they work with data as well. So in this video, we'll restrict ourselves only to understanding what we can do with Google Studio AI. In the subsequent video, we'll also look at the capabilities that exist with Notebook LM as well. So what we will do here is we'll use a data set. I will be uploading, or the module will have the data set. So it is basically this. This is a website called Internal Displacement Monitoring Center. So they basically look at how many people are getting displaced globally because of different reasons. So there are two primary reasons that they look at. They look at displacements due to conflicts and also displacements due to disasters, climate change related extreme weather events. So these are the two parameters on the basis of which they are looking how many people are getting internally displaced year on year. So what I've done is I have downloaded from the dashboard the data set for 2024, which is the most recent data set that is available, annual displacement data, and that is for 2024. And now let's try to analyze the data set. So it is there on my desktop, the file. So let us try to analyze the data set. So let us open Google Studio AI again. So I just typed Google Studio AI on my Chrome browser, and then Google Studio opens up. Now that Google Studio has opened up, let's start. So what I'll do is I'm now right now in the build option. We'll talk about the build option or the byte coding bit in another video. So what we're doing is we're going to chat with models, which is something that we're comfortable with. Because I am using data and I know I want to analyze data, I'll shift to Gemini 2.5 Pro. It'll be slightly slower because more thinking will happen and it'll also consume more tokens, but I'll still go with that. And in temperature, I would want to go with 0. I don't want it to think be out of the box per se, or I can keep it at 1 as well. Let's see. I think there are advantages because there are certain things that I want to do with it, which might work better if it is the temperature is kept at 0, at 1. So now that we've done that, let us upload the data set. So I click on this plus sign at the bottom and it asks me what are the things that I can upload. So you can upload some files directly from your drive. You can upload some files from your desktop. You can record an audio directly. You can click images and you can add YouTube videos and sample media as well. So the file is on my desktop. So one thing that you have to be careful, it does not pick up Excel files directly. So you can see an XLS file on my desktop. This is the version that was downloaded from the website. So I converted it into a CSV file. I basically converted it into a CSV file, which is an open source file. So in your Excel file, when you have opened it on Microsoft Excel, you can just click on save. I'll just show it to you. Assuming that we don't know anything about these things, I'll just show it to you once. So let me just open the file. I've double clicked on the file and it opens an Excel. And so you can see a lot of tabs at the bottom. We just want this tab, the displacement data tab. We don't want the other data tab. So in a CSV file, you can only save one of the tabs. So whichever tab is selected, right now the displacement data tab is selected. So right now only that will get saved. All the others will get removed. So you just come here and you just click on File, Save As, and within Save As, you have the option of CSV. You click on CSV and you just save it. I'm not doing it because it is already saved. But so what will happen is only this sheet will get saved. All the other sheets will not get saved. So that is something that you have to be careful. But CSV is an open source format. That basically means it is not patented with any company. So it works across and it is also lighter than an Excel file. You can see that if you have a look at it. So this is the Excel file for this 142 KB, and this is the CSV file 8 KB. You can understand how much is the difference between the two. Obviously, we have less number of sheets, but even if we had the same number of sheets, it would have been smaller because there are four basically tabs. So 8 fours are roughly, I'm doing a ballpark. So this is also the biggest sheet as well. So 8 fours are 32 or something, 32 KB or so. So you can understand how much is the difference between the two. Anyways, now let's come back to Google Studio AI, and I am uploading this internal displacement CSV file, and I've clicked on it. I am right now assuming that I don't understand anything. So the assumption is that I don't understand how to work with Excel. The assumption is I don't understand data, and I'm scared of data. So, and if you look at the data set that we're dealing with, it has data from 169 countries. So there are a lot of columns and rows. So for the uninitiated, this would look like a lot of information. So what we've done is we've just uploaded it and we've just clicked on uh, run. So now what is happening is now Google Studio AI is trying to understand what the data set is all about. Depending on how big or small the data set is, you can see how many tokens have been taken just to read the data. So 6,233, if you remember, around 1 million tokens is what you get per session. So out of that 1 million, 6,233 has been consumed just to read the data set. So what it has done is the moment it has finished reading the data set, it has given us a it is basically this is the table. It has read the table and it is showing that the table entails. It is still reading the table, so you can see that it is. So if you see at the bottom, this 1 second. So now it has stopped. So it was showing as it was so there was a circular pattern that was going round and round and round. So that basically means it's still reading. So now it has read it, and this is basically how it is, and it is telling me that 47.1 seconds have gone. Now I want to understand what the data set is all about. So I can ask. So can you tell me the column headers? So column headers usually have information pertaining to what is there underneath. So what kind of details are there? So I'm just asking it, can you tell me the column headers? So what it does is it does the analysis and it comes up with that. So it is discovering the CSV headers. And once it is done with that, it is telling me what all is there. There is an ISO number 3, which basically is the unique code for each country. There is a name, year, conflict stock displacement, conflict internal displacement. And so there is internal displacements total. There is displacements due to conflicts. There is a raw version of it, which would have the raw numbers that would have been taken from the ground. And I know what IDMC does is it just rounds it off for it to be easier to count. So if there are like 673 displacements due to conflict in some country, it'll round it off to 700. So that is basically what the difference is between raw and the rounded off or the improved version. So we'll go with that. So you've got conflict data and you've got disaster data as well. And this is how it has been placed. Disaster internal displacement and disaster stock displacement. So these are two things. I'm not too sure what is the difference between the two. So let's go with the disaster internal displacements for the time being. So once we've done that, now let's say, can you tell me the number of people displaced due to disaster? So what I'll do right now is I'll just copy paste the name of the column because I have the column name here so that there is no confusion because there are 4 of them. So it might pick up something else as well. Uh, for all African countries. Do you see what we are doing right now? We are asking it to cull out only the African countries. This was not possible in Notebook LM because our original document doesn't have a continent column. Had it had a continent column, it would not have made any difference. So now what Google Studio AI is doing is it is looking at all the country names, and at the same time, it is also trying to figure out what are the countries that fall within Africa, within the target of Africa. So it is trying to figure it out. Let's see whether it gets it done or not. So right now it is thinking. It's thinking, thinking, thinking. So now what it does is, of course, based on the data provided, this is basically what it is. So it has given me all the African countries and their displacement data from them. You can also do it this way. Let us try what are the other things that we can do. Can you also give me the top 5 countries with displacement uh, in the column? So you're seeing that I'm also giving some form of context even here in the column. This. So it is doing that. So it is basically pulling out the top 5 or the 5 worst affected countries due to disaster-related internal displacement in 2024. And it is done. So you've got US, you've got Philippines, you've got India, you've got China, and Bangladesh. These are the 5 worst affected countries due to internal displacements led by, so it is basically from this column, disaster internal displacements. If you want to verify it, which is always a good idea, so there are 2 ways of going about. What I'll do is I'll individually either, if assuming that I don't understand Excel and I'm not comfortable with anything to do with Excel or spreadsheets, then I'll come back over here and I know over here there are country-wise analysis available. So I'll just go manually, or over here, I'll do it this way, internal displacement. Uh, there would be some other way. So there are country-wise information available as well over here. So I'll try to do that. So I'll just put India and see if the value is fine. It's slightly longish, but if you don't understand anything else, so this is the best way forward. So you can come over here and let me see what is it that Google Studio AI has given. Because even f- so currently the place where we are with when it comes to uh, AI, it is always a good idea to cross check. So 5431000. Let me go back over here. So 5.4 million, that is basically what it is, internal displacements and also internal displacements by disaster. This is basically what we're looking at, right? Disasters due to disasters, because the this value is very low. So this 5431000, 5.4 million. So you can check it this way, or we can also do it over here. I'll just skip it, but you get the idea. So it is always a good idea to cross-check the numbers. So now that we've got this, let's take it a step further. So you get an idea, whatever questions you have in your mind, you can even ask. I don't use it in myself, but just an idea if you are exploring something absolutely new. Let's say we are talking about uh, I don't know, uh, biodiversity in Amazon and what all is there to look at. And there is some data set that you come across which claims to be the most comprehensive data set on biodiversity in Amazon forests. And because we don't have any context, we don't know what to ask. So I'm assuming this data set similarly is something that we have no context of. So if I do this, I want to write a story on the internal displacements due to disasters. What are the questions I can ask for from this data set that will strengthen the story? So you can keep on asking. It might not be it might not get it right the first time. And this is something that I've seen far too many people do. So they ask it first time and it does not really work out because there are troubles communicating. That happens even with us. So if I were to tell you something, or if you were to tell me something, and I might just come back. So let's assume that I am the data expert over here and it is your story. And you come to me, or your research, and you come to me and you say, Rajat, I want this kind of an information. So you give me, I want to do a story on internal displacements due to disasters. So what are the numbers that you should give me? I have my own biases. I might give you some options, but they might not be the numbers that you're looking for. So there might be, like with humans, there might be a lot of two and fourth here. But the good thing is that you are doing something that you would not have been able to do otherwise. Assuming that you're not comfortable with big numbers, and you can really get big numbers as long as you're taking care of the tokens that are there. You should not exhaust that. And if you do that, then there are other ways to go about. You can create a Python file as well, and you can work on that. So all of those things are also possible. So the big picture, it is saying these are the questions that you can ask. Uh, what is the total number of new displacements recorded globally in 2024? Uh, how do the numbers of new displacements compare to the total number of people still displaced? Okay. So stock displacement is basically the number of people who are still displaced. New displacements are the number of people who've been displaced this year alone. So a lot of the people who've been displaced because of disaster might have been displaced at the start of the year. So basically, stock displacement looks at that. So this is very interesting. So let me just put this question. So this is a question that Studio has asked, has suggested based on the data set. Let me see what it does. So this is how you can build things and you can explore with data sets. It does not matter how big or small the data set is, except for the tokens that you might just hit. That is something that you have to be careful. So there are two ways of going about. Either you work on a programming language and you basically ask Google Studio AI to write you the codes for it. The other option is you break down your data set into smaller chunks so that you don't hit the tokens. So that is another way of going about. So this has done something and it has given something. Yeah, so it has given me this, the revolving door, blah, blah, blah. And for three, the lingering crisis. There are three countries within this. So you can see what all you can possibly do with it. Uh, Let me just try doing this. And I think it won't work. There are times it works and there are times it doesn't. So if I say, can you create a bar graph of the top most top countries, top 5 countries in the with column. Sorry, I don't remember. 1 second. Let me just jump back. Column, which was the column that we were looking at? We were looking at this one. I don't know. So there are times it does. There are times it just says that I cannot create graphs. So let's see what happens. I've told it exactly what I'm looking for. Let me see if it actually works. Because AI itself is not deterministic. There are times it works, there are times it doesn't. So that is basically what it is. It also depends immensely on the kind of prompts that you're giving. So maybe this prompt doesn't work. If it doesn't work, but clearly it is doing something. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. If it creates a graph or a bar, of course, it has created a bar. And you can actually download the bar graph. And you can see, oh, it is okay. So this is basically what it is. It's a very basic graph that it has created, but you can see that it does that and it is working. Uh, you might or might not get it right. So that is basically what it is, but it's worth giving a chance. So I'll stop over here. In the next video, we'll talk about how to create apps specifically to create visualizations, where you can basically create prettier looking graphs. You can just copy paste your data set and it'll create graphs. So that's basically what we'll talk about. And we will also be looking at the use of Notebook LM to create a lot of the different kinds of data analysis that we can do. Thank you.